Hi everybody, I'm Carl Griffor. This year I've assisted the Arizona Department of Education with the design of Arizona's computer science standards. And now we're creating these webinars to help teachers quickly get up to speed on the basics of computer science, those new standards, and hopefully to help you integrate them into your own classrooms. This is webinar series 3, Computer Science Integration into Other Disciplines. In this section we'll be discussing math. There will be 3 different webinar series. Series 1 discussed what is computer science. Series 2 discussed the 5 essential concepts. In this, Series 3 will discuss the integration of computer science into other disciplines. Each series of webinars will have between 3 and 5 short videos. So where are these standards? Well, the approved Arizona computer science standards are available for download at this address. There's also a download link for the standards broken out by essential concept instead of by grade. Today's takeaway: computer science should not be taught in a vacuum. It can and should be integrated into other subjects, both to be taught there and reinforced there. So what does computer science have to do with math? Well, there's the answer: everything. It's a great quote. Mathematics is an exact language for description, calculation, deduction, modeling, and prediction. So math is logical. Math is an ordered sequence of values. Well, you could probably use those exact same descriptions for computer science, and they would be spot on. So why would you want to integrate math with computer science? Well, specific practices across grades that lend themselves to both computer science and math are shown in this table. So take a moment and look it over. Major concepts, while they may have different titles, teach the same type of content. So how would you go about integrating computer science and math? Well, first things first, be prepared to not be a master of this subject on day one. You're going to have to prepare for some change or modification to your routine, not a replacement to your routine. And don't try to just jump in. Make a plan first after you have some approved curriculum from admin. You should get buy-in from other teachers. If you're going to start in your classroom, it would be best if the other teachers would reinforce in their classrooms also. And don't introduce it as anything besides math, because you're teaching math. It's just the concept also applies to computer science. And most importantly of all, get help. There is professional development, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes, out there online. There's free, there's paid for, and there's content out there. There's already content that's made. There are entire curriculum that are made for integrating computer science into math. Speaking of that, you have no computer science curriculum. So now what? Well, companies like Bootstrap, they offer free math-based computer science curricula. It's appropriate for either class. You can teach it in both. They offer curriculum for 7th through 12th grades in both basic and advanced math subjects, going all the way through complex functional relationships and connections to trig. Bootstrap is the coding base that code.org is actually based on. It's maintained by Brown University. So how would you get yourself ready to teach computer science and math? Well, there's reputable sites that offer both in-person and online computer science PD. The free site, well, the top one, it's listed, it ranges from basic intros of basic algebraic functions, and most of these rely on a coding type curriculum. So remember that, please, while you're doing this, coding is only a small part of the overall subject of computer science. The concepts of computer science, while they're expressed through coding, need to be covered first. The second one, also PBS, an amazingly expansive site. Most paid-for sites, like the one down there at the bottom, that offer computer science PD, they're relatively expensive. The one on screen has individual course and package plans. Um, the possible plus to using a service like this is that their PD normally includes a basic curriculum that completely matches the PD that you've gotten for you to follow in the classroom. But again, they're normally relatively expensive. Lesson integration. So what might you be able to actually teach in your classroom? Some examples. Pixelization. There's more application at the elementary and middle school grades. Students have to actually map out XY axis where colors go in order to complete a picture. This also applies in art. The URLs shown there are downloadable lesson plans and PDFs of actual examples that you can pass out and use in your class. If you have access to computing devices, coding language are all mathematically based, and many have pre-made lessons. Some examples, Scratch, of course, and Scratch Junior for the elementary school kids, both of which can be used online. Being online, even bring your own device schools that allow students to use their own automation can use them. An article of interest that explains all this is that second URL. The third one is an e-zine, an electronic magazine that also is very specific to including computer science and math instruction. And number 4 there is a short activity that shows students how to use algebra to create algorithms and actually predict outcomes. In other words, computer science magic. It leads to pages of other activities that are along the exact same lesson type. So today's takeaway: computer science should not and cannot be taught in a vacuum. It can and should be integrated into other subjects, both to be taught there and reinforced there. Math, while it is a standalone subject, covers a lot of the same concepts of computer science and is an excellent place for not only teaching, but also reinforcing those concepts. Thank you for your time.